What's happening, guys? Today I'm at the Penshurst Biketart Demo Day. So I've got 5 bikes to test today and I am pretty stoked. Yeah, got over here, it's like a little mini downhill park with some pretty big gaps in it. Short hill, but we'll be able to test the bike's jumping capabilities for sure. It's English winter, so as you can imagine, conditions are a tad damp. And we have Perry. Yeah. Look at the mud on the face. Yeah. Oh. She takes the case quite well. What is this bike best for? I'd say it's just a great all-rounder. I couldn't put it in one category or the other. Or it's great at great at climbing, great at going down. It's good for everything. I honestly jumped on that thing and within one 30-second run felt like it was my own bike. With the 170 on the front. Felt like a downhill bike, like a little mini downhill bike, and the rear shock on the back soaked everything up. Do you want to go first? Yeah. Whoa! There's little or no pedal bob on this bike. The frame did feel quite long. I'm 5'8", short, stumpy arms. But I mean, I could manage the medium, no worries. I think the large would be a bit too large for someone at 5'8", because I mean, I know some brands 5'8", you're sort of like a medium to a large, whereas the medium was spot on and slightly on the larger side for me. There she is. She's quite a gap. Woo! What did it not do so well? I found like the gearing on it wasn't the best. I know it's quite muddy, so you can't judge completely, but the cassette was slipping a bit on the back as I was pedaling into stuff, and the gears were a little bit tight on the clicks, so each click sort of almost didn't feel like a gear change. I always thought you needed 2 bikes, but this would do anything. Yeah. Like even just going up this hill, it's not bobbing around, like it feels solid. Let's have her up, son. So you could really huck it off some gaps. You could go and pedal an XC loop on it. The rear shock felt incredible actually. It wasn't bobbing around at all going up the hills, but yet soaked up the hits amazingly. Man, this feels so light. So just to clarify, I'm not supported by any of these brands. I'm literally just turned up, I've done no research on the bike. I literally just put my pedals on it and just dropped in. So, I mean, these are the initial thoughts. Absolutely destroyed the descents, like the technical bits. It rode really well through the chop. It climbed fairly well. It climbed better than my Trek Remedy 2016, as you would probably expect. There was a bit of bob from the rear shock going up the hills, and the forks, they felt good, but again, they're just not as good as the Fox forks and Fox shock that come off the Yeti. Oh, and he's drifting it. Perry does not mess about. Perry riding in his jog shoes today. Trying to feel this bike out. Woo! Very highly rated bike, but to me it wasn't anything special. I mean, admittedly I was on a large, I'm 5'8", so maybe I should have been on the medium-sized bike. Here we go. Yeah, it was fairly easy to ride. It took me a couple of runs to get dialed in, and to be fair, it felt quite long, so it did, on like the fast sections with the rough terrain, it did eat up those sections quite nicely. Look at the size of that cassette.
Same as mine.
It's unreal. Just slipping and sliding. So we're just scoping out a place to put the camera, which gives us a chance to look at these little hits. Quite a steep little section. Stuck a little rock drop gap. Overall, good sturdy bike that can jump well and go through rough terrain well. If I was going to be racing enduros and stuff like that, I'd look for something maybe a tad lighter, or maybe it just didn't feel light. It's trickier. Maybe this sounds like a little bit of a negative review, and it isn't negative, it's just not. It seems like it's missing something. Just something there just wasn't quite right. Whoa! Yeah, man! What is this bike best for? Jumping, possible dirt jump bike to be used as a trail bike too. Obviously the uphills are just an absolute breeze with a hardtail, because you can put all that power through the back without any suspension bob. At £1,050, it's a great entry level bike, but there's a few things that it could be improved, and that's just really the components, to be honest. The Mark III comes with the dropper post, better brakes, better suspension on the front, and that's the only thing I can believe that will be improved, because you've got the same frame from the Mark II to the Mark III.
Feeling it on the hardtail.
So really, you're getting a lot of bang for your buck with this bike. Like, that's the best thing about hardtails, is they demand your technique to be much better. So they're really good to learn on. Feeling a little bit nervous about this one. Whoa! Whoa! Yeah, man! So I'm 5'8" with short arms. That bike felt really good to me. At the price point, this is a great bike. I felt instantly comfortable on it. As comfortable as a trail can be with no suspension. First time on the hardtail.
Just gonna send her in.
If you're looking for a capable trail bike, which could also be good on dirt jumps too, then this could be the one. I would personally upgrade to the San Quentin 3, spend an extra 300 quid, and that will get you a lot better components across the bike, which I think will make the ride even better. Okay, so I've been donning these Smith goggles for a while, and yeah, I've been looking the part out on the trails. Very comfy, and also goes very well with this helmet with the peak that folds up, and then you can tuck the goggles out the way.
It's Neil from Smith, and this is the new Smith Forefront 2 helmet. So it's made of two materials, EPS, which most helmets are made of, most people are familiar with, and then the kind of really techie material in it is called Coroid, which is this jaw system here. And basically Coroid, this is Coroid when it's been hit.
Yeah.
It's super efficient at absorbing impact, way more efficient than EPS.
Yeah.
And absorbing impact. The beauty of that is it reduces chance of getting skull fractures.
Yeah.
So it's the kind of next level helmet. So most of our competitors just use expanded polystyrene. We use expanded polystyrene plus Koroyd, so it has huge benefits in terms of reducing impact and potential skull fracture. Another safety feature is MIPS, which is multi-directional impact protection system. Basically, this is a low friction layer, so this reduces rotational brain injuries basically. So the helmet does two things. The Koroyd helps with reducing the impact and reduction of skull fractures, and the MIPS reduces the chance of rotational brain injuries. And then you can mount your Smith glasses underneath the visor.
Yeah, now I like that feature with the visor popping up there.
Yeah, you can also put your goggles on, and the goggle, you then get a gap between helmet and goggle.
Yeah.
So it reduces the pressure on your nose, and importantly, there's two air vents here called air evac, and they blow air down through the goggles, so they keep a constant airflow, which means it reduces the chance of them steaming up. We do a crash replacement scheme on with Smith as well, so if you purchase a helmet and you keep pre-purchase, this is just for the UK, we'll give you a replacement helmet half price.
Yeah, very comfy goggles, look the part, helmet feels very good and really safe, so what more can you want? Woo!
So these are the squad goggles, and they retail at £84.99 in the UK. They come with two lenses. They come with a clear lens and a ChromaPop lens. And basically, ChromaPop is essentially a high definition lens, and it filters wavelengths of light, particularly red, green, and blue.
Yeah.
Because it filters them so effectively, you get a very vivid, contrasting colours. So you get a great depth of perception, which is what you need when you're riding, and particularly green looks very green, and that great depth of perception means on the steep, techie trails, lots of trees and things, you can see a line a lot better. So you're visible.
So rain has halted play on this dark December's day. Got a good handful of runs in though, didn't we, Pez? Yeah. What? How many runs you put in? Double figures?
Yeah, I think I've got at least 10. Very least 10.
Good effort. But yeah, I managed to test out some goggles, helmets, and 3 bikes. So it's been a successful day, I'd say. Hit a few jumps, did a few wheelies. Perry, what was your bike of the day?
Bike I only ended up having 2, but the Bronson was the best bike. It's definitely confidence inspiring, well balanced, components are pretty good, and the Fox suspension is the bomb.
So look out for more Biketart demo days coming up, because it sounds like it's going to happen.